day everyone! First, I'm Joylyn Villaruel and we are the Group 4 presenting Lesson 4, Philippine Traditional Games and about their histories and authors. When we were younger, we considered summer is the best of time. We didn't have to go to school, we had no homework, and we didn't need to review for exams. We played on the streets with our neighbor friends until we used up all our energy. Traditional games are seen as the best platform for promoting peace, harmony, goodwill, and camaraderie. In various Philippine communities, especially the today's generation is different. Most kids are stuck on their phones, iPads, and PSPs while sitting on a corner. Some of the Philippine traditional games instead on our modules are kadang-kadang or bamboo stealth. This is a very popular recreational game in the country. Several players may participate in this game. The equipment needed is 2 pieces of wooden stealth with a step ladder, the height of which is 30.48 cm from the ground. The principle of the game is to walk on stealth from a starting line to the finish line. The length to be traveled is 100 meters. Next is history. History of kadang-kadang was first officially played in 1969. It was a team game introduced during the Laro ng Lahi, or game of the races. The elders during that period claimed they used to play it when they were younger. They said they walk on kadang for fun, especially when they were done with household chores. Likewise, kadang-kadang was played without the rules like what they imposed at the Laro ng Lahi. Rules of the game. First, at the signal, get set. The players stand at the starting line with their stealths. Second, at the signal, go. The players mount their stealth and start walking. 3. The first player that reaches the finish line without getting off the stealths wins. 4. A player loses if he gets off the stealths twice before reaching the finish line, or gets off the stealth after 2 steps. Next game is Kollyat. The game is similar to tug of war in principle. 2 or more players can play this. The purpose of a team is to pull the other team over the border line. The equipment needed is a 15-meter long rope with a diameter of 3.81 centimeters. History. The history of Kollyat is the game greatly resembles the game tug of war, which is played across different countries all over the world. But even the origins of tug of war are uncertain. But this sport was practiced in Cambodia, ancient Egypt, Greece, India, and China. Aside from the often appearance of the game is street games, fiestas, and even in the playground. Kollyat has been demonstrated and played in numerous formal events, especially after the rise of Laro ng Lahi and the mission it entails. Since then, Even school intramurals are some cultural-based games holds tournaments of Kollyat. Rules of the game. How Kollyat is played. A team is composed of 2 or more players. The purpose of this team is to pull the other team over the border line. The equipment needed is a 15-meter long rope with a diameter of 3.81 centimeters. Each team must have an equal number of players. The teams are placed 5 meters away from each other. Both ends of the rope should be tied on the waist of the last player while the others hold on to the rope. A piece of ribbon or handkerchief is tied onto the center line of the rope. Upon the signal to start, each team pulls the other, attempting to pull the opposing team over the borderline, thus becoming the winner. Next game is Pithik Bulaga. Kids used to get together in the streets or in their neighborhoods to play their favorite larong Pinoy games. One of these is the Pithik Bulaga. It is a Filipino native game which involves interaction with a real person. It generally comes up on creating a game without the required of anything but only the players themselves. These have been the usual and favorite leisure time before the modern types of Westerners activity has taken over the interests of Filipino children. This game is invented by the flexible mind of the person to visualize and perform such game, which makes it trickier and fascinating. Rules of the game. This game involves 2 players. One covers his or her eyes with a hand, while the other flex a finger or pitik over the hand covering the eyes. The person with the covered eyes gives a number with his hand the same time the other does. If their numbers are the same, then they exchange rules in the game. That's all on my part, and thank you for watching.
Good morning, everyone. I am Juliana Peralta, and I am a reporter for the examples of Chinese Garter and Luxon Tinik. So, Chinese Garter is the very popular Filipino game and girls' favorite game in their childhood years. The game was really fun to play. You must have good physical and balancing capabilities to have an advantage playing this. This is the good exercise game for children. History. Chinese Garter is called Chinese jump rope in the other countries. It originated in China in the 7th century. They played it before during the celebration of Chinese New Year. It was passed from the generation to generation and has become popular in the other countries. So, the rules of the game. People hold both ends of the stretched garter horizontally while the others attempt to cross over it. The goal is to cross without having strip on the garter. While each round, the garter's height is made higher than the previous round. The game starts with the garter at ankle level, followed by the knee level until the garter is positioned above the head. The higher rounds demand dexterity, and the players generally leap with their feet first in the air. So their feet cross over the garter and they end up landing on the other side. Also, the higher levels going cartwheels to cross the garter is allowed. The next one is Luxon Tinik. So, Luxon Tinik or Thorn Hurdles is a traditional game played by the children in the Philippines. the participants are separated into two equal teams. The participants choose two players, typically those who can jump the highest, to be the mothers. The remaining participants are the children. The object of the game is for the mothers and children to jump over the outstretched hands of the other players. So, the history of this game, Luxon Tinik, is a popular game in the Philippines. The history includes its origination in Cabanatuan City, in the province of Nueva Ecija. The game involves players sitting on the ground and the other players jumping over the parts of their body. This is a game that uses no toys. Instead, used only our hands and legs to execute this activity. So, the rules of the game: Luxong Tinik is a game with the same with Luxong Baka. Two players serve as the base of the tinik turn by putting their right or left feet soles touching, gradually building the tinik. A starting point is set by all the players, giving enough runaway for the players to achieve a higher jump so as not to hit the tinik. Players of the other team start jumping over the tinik, followed by the other team's members. So that is for my report, everyone, and my name is Juliana Peralta, second year BPED. So thank you for listening.
So, good morning everyone. I'm Jarek Paul R. Mateo, and today I will report about Lawin and Sisiu, or what we call hawk and chicken. So, this game is played by 10 or more players. So, it can be played indoors or outdoors. So, one player is chosen as the hawk and another as the hen. The other players are called chickens. So, the chickens stand one behind the other, and each holding the waist of one in front. So the hen stands in front of the file of chickens, and the hawk will buy a chicken from the hen. So the hawk will then take the chicken and ask him or her to hunt for food and goes back to sleep. So while the hawk is asleep, the chicken will return to the hen, and the hawk wakes up and tries to get back the chicken he bought, while the hen and other chickens prevent the hawk from catching the chicken. So that's the short story of this Lawin and Sisiu. So the history of this game is it is made of friends who stick together until they died. So Lawin and Sisiu came from Cybercada, who create this in 1995 until now. So it is one of the most traditional games here in the Philippines. So the rules of the game, or the mechanics of the game, is started by selecting one hawk and one hen, and the rest of the players will be the chicks of the hen. So this exciting game is played by 10 or more players. As I said earlier, the chicks of the hen should hold each other's waist, and then the hen will lead them. So the hen's goal is to widen out her wings, literally with her hands, and defend her chicks for the hawk that will try to catch possible way the chickens or the chicks. So when the hens, or the hen rather, moves to block the hawk, they should never goose grip of each other's waist or clothes. So sa clothes pwede sila magbuhitan. So otherwise the chain will be broken and they will be easily caught by the hawk. So if any chicken is that unlucky, he will become the new hawk, and the hawk rather will be a new chicken in the next round. Usually the last chicken in the line is the most hard to catch. So that was the uh, rules and history of Lawin and Sisiw. Let's proceed to Chateau. So Chateau is a traditional Filipino game that makes use rather of two sticks. One is longer and the other one is longer than the other. So the longer stick will serve as the bat and the shorter stick serves like the hit. So two teams are required to play this game, the hitter and the pitcher. So it is played outside on the ground where one digs a square hole, so which is slanted, where they put the small wood so that it sticks out. So player A hits the wood with the sticks so that it catches air enough to be hit by the stick. So let's proceed to the rules of this Chateau game. So this is also called a stick game. Better be good at it. So two players, one flat stick, usually 3 inches or 3 feet rather, 3 feet. And one short flat piece of wood, so 4 inches usually, a piece cut from a flat stick. So player A or the hitter and player B as the catcher. It is played outside on the ground where you can dig a small square hole which is slanted as I said earlier. So it is where you put the small wood on so it sticks out. So player A hits the wood with the stick so it catches air enough to be hit by the stick. The further the wood gets hit, the more points you get. So it is usually counted by number of stick length. So player B on the other hand has to anticipate and catch the small piece of wood to nullify the points and become his turn, or looks forward to player A to miss hitting the wood. So the game will can turn around. So that ends our report and I hope you learned something. Thank you for listening and watching. God bless.